Shalom. We are continuing in our series of 25 principles of Jewish child rearing. We are now on principle number 4. Principle number 4 has become all that more relevant with the advent and the advance of technology. Technology has become a very, very large part of people's lives. The world is beaming messages at us. Others are beaming at us messages in the most sophisticated way, in the most colorful way, in the most attracting way. And it's something that when the child ventures out of his home and he walks into this large world with an enormous amount of messages coming from all sorts of directions, advertisements, cyberspace, he's just assailed with many, many messages. Very often these messages are nothing but commercially driven. As one of the greats of the movie industry once conceded and said, there's not an ounce of morality in Hollywood. All that counts is the rating. All that counts is how successful the message is in turning to sometimes very, very lowly base instincts of the human. Now, we don't want our children to be exposed to this kind of stuff. So, as we said, that children are they're very tender, they're very delicate. We are cultivating and growing something very special. That is the personality. This little neshama, this little soul that is now developing and budding and learning and growing needs to be very, very carefully tended. And when messages of aggression, of violence, of immorality, of gross misconduct and all types and manner of explicit immoral behavior, the child is all the time integrating these things into his delicate little personality. Now, the soul of a person, the neshama of a person, is a spiritual entity that absorbs everything, records everything. Everything makes an impact on the soul. And the soul, in the essence, is it's called the pnim, the internal of a person, and that's reflected in the panim, in the external. So it's the soul which is the essence, and the soul is the most sophisticated and sensitive recording vehicle, recording everything, recording feelings, recording certainly sights, recording everything. All of our senses which we absorb are recorded in the soul, certainly visual. So we have to be very careful with what we expose this delicate soul to. And therefore, today in this world where everybody is exposed in some way or other to various forms of media, it's something which is it's an invasion of the privacy of our little private souls. So we have to try and immunize the child that he doesn't absorb these. To what extent? But we certainly have to keep these away from the home. We certainly can't have competing forces within the home, which are on screens, which are competing for attention. So then the parents' message, even if they're loving and love-filled, but they become bland, as opposed to the colorful, exciting, fast-moving, well-conceived messages that are being beamed from all over the place in a vivid fashion. So the first thing is we've got to keep our homes absolutely clean and have none of these elements in our home. We should have no competing elements in the home. The home is is the personal place for the family, parents and children to interact without gross outside invasion into the space. So the home must be kept kosher. And that's called a kosher home. A kosher home is not only the kosher kitchen. A kosher home is a home that doesn't have unwanted influences inside that home. Certainly, today there's absolutely no discerning. Today, with open internet, with open messages flying in from all circles and all sorts of places, and little children at a young age being exposed to these are very dangerous things. So the home has to be absolutely squeaky clean from this. Now, there's no question that the child should not have any access outside of the home also of these influences. And therefore parents have to be very, very discerning. They may keep a great, nice, clean home, a nice kosher home in the broader sense of the word, but when the child goes and plays with the next door neighbor, and the next door neighbor have screens which are showing all sorts of unsavory material, these things can be absolutely destructive. So parents today, this is possibly one of the greatest challenges of our generation. Previous generations did not have this. Parents today have to be extremely discerning, keeping away negative influences.